Olá! O Dimensão Olímpica de hoje traz duas entrevistadas, Maria Bogner e Nuria Puig, ambas administradoras do Centro de Estudos Olímpicos, do Comitê Olímpico Internacional, que fica na Suíça. Neste centro, nós podemos encontrar um enorme acervo de vídeos, fotos, textos e documentos relacionados ao olimpismo. Este material serve também como um alicerce para a pesquisa em torno do esporte olímpico. Confira! In the name of UFRGS TV, I would like to thank you, Nuria, for being here, talking with us in this interview.
It's really a pleasure to be with you and to answer some questions.
What is the importance of the university relations of the Olympic Studies Center, and how is possible to approach the universities to the Olympic studies, to the Olympic subjects?
The importance is for us, for the IOC, is really important to have a contact with society. And of course, one of the important parts is really to have contacts with universities, with professors and students being there. So we think really the Olympic studies is really important in order really that the people in university know about the Olympic Games, not only about the Olympic Games, but also about the Olympic values and what is behind all the activities we have. And also it's also important at the university level because we think that the IOC has evolved a lot since the creation in 1894 till now. The society has evolved a lot. And to get analysis from the academic perspective on different aspects related to the Olympic movement and the Olympic Games can really contribute to the activities of the IOC. So the Olympic Studies Center is really trying to promote that universities are being interested in Olympic studies. We promote that the students and researchers come to consult our collections, and we encourage really, thanks to grant programs we have, to really analyze different aspects related to the Olympic Games and the Olympic movement.
What would you say that is the mission of the Olympic Studies Center?
The mission of the Olympic Studies Center has different facets. So one is really to preserve the patrimony of the IOC. We have all the original resources, the historical archives of the International Olympic Committee. We have all the official publications of the IOC, of the organizing committees. And we have a lot of different documents related to the Olympic movement and the Olympic Games. So the mission is really to preserve of this collection, also to give access to all these rich collections, to promote research on Olympic studies, and also to stimulate the intellectual exchange. Really what we are dealing with is we are dealing with Olympic knowledge. We want to enrich Olympic knowledge.
What are the main challenges to keep the memory of more than 100 years of Olympism?
Challenges is, of course, there's information that is increasing and increasing. There is a question of really preservation of the collections, and it's an important question of digitalization. If really we need to preserve the documents and we need to give access to all these documents to the people. So one of the ways is really by digitalize all the documents, and we are speaking about a big amount of collections. It requires really time, it requires as well really money. There is another aspect also that today more and more we are always using mobile phones, we are really changing by email and so on. In the past there were the letters, that was easy one, and there's a fewer information moving on. Today we have a mass of information, and that's also a challenge, to really to be able to keep the key information, the information that will enable the people that are interested in the Olympic movement in the future generations really to understand what happened in the past, what was the history of the Olympic Games and the Olympic movement.
Can you talk about the Olympic Museum?
Olympic Museum was created in 1993. It's situated in Lausanne. It's really a very big museum that really aims to disseminate the information for the public about the Olympic movement and the Olympic Games. And it's true that it's important activity related to children, to the schools, in order to facilitate that the schools with the teachers and so on go to the museum. There's a lot of pedagogical material that is also online. Visits organized by really people that are in the field of the educational. One of the events that also illustrates this objective of really being with the kids and have these teaching activities. It's Olympic Week we have in October, where thousands of kids from Lausanne and the region are coming to do practice activities, but also sports activities, but also to learn more about the Olympic movement.
So, thank you.
You're welcome, a pleasure.
It was a pleasure. So first, in the name of UFRGS TV, I would like to thank you, Maria, for being here, talking with us in this interview.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
How important is this collection of texts, videos, photos to the Olympic memory?
Well, I would say it's extremely, extremely important. The IOC looks back on a very rich history and the Olympic movement since the creation of the IOC in 1894. And the first Olympic Games, obviously, we're looking back to a very many editions of the Games and a very large memory and patrimony of the IOC with, I think, over 400,000 photos, 50,000 hours of video material, lots of audio material, and over 1 kilometer of written documents in the historical archives. Over 20,000 books, so you can imagine just as what the IOC has in our collections is a very rich source for research and very important in the sense of that it's safeguarded for future generations in that sense. And that is just what we have. That doesn't include all the rich heritage and memory that all the institutions around the world have on their own history.
And how people in general can have access to this content, or this use is limited just for researchers?
No, well, it depends. The collections are open for research, so in fact the fact that the Olympic Study Center exists is there to enable research. Our mission is to provide access to information and to offer the possibility to access the collections for research. So our mission is to promote academic research specifically. So depending on what the type of research that researchers are conducting or students, depending on their backgrounds, they can have access to certain documents. So the historical archives, in fact, are open for research until 20 years ago. So there's an embargo on the documents for 20 years. Everything else is open for access. You just need to contact us, tell us your research topic. Some documents are available in digital form when we speak about historical archives, and others you can access at our facilities in Lausanne in Switzerland. When we talk about books, obviously nowadays everything is produced in digital format. When we look back in the history, the most important collections have been digitized. So we talk all the official reports of the Olympic Games, all the Olympic charters. The most important resource collections are available on our page of the Olympic Study Center in olympic.org, the official website of the IOC. So there we try and really facilitate that researchers from around the world can access online as much as possible. Then when we speak about images, it's a little bit more restricted. Researchers with a specific project can have access to a digital multimedia library that we have, but it's a little bit more complex for the use for educational purposes versus for commercial purposes, so that's a little bit more restricted. But in any case, there's a rich patrimony to be accessed, and we invite researchers to contact us with their topics, and we will be as helpful as possible in our services. We really try and guide people depending on the topic of research, to guide them to what is relevant for their purpose.
What are the main challenges to keep the memory of more than 100 years of Olympism?
Well, the main challenge is the big volume of information that is being handled, and in order to safeguard it, that it doesn't disintegrate, that it can be protected, you know, from the humidity, and that it's conserved in the correct way, that it can be preserved for future generations. So it's a matter of investment of time and money and teams and very expertise to safeguard this patrimony. It's a big responsibility. and we take it very seriously at the IOC because we understand the importance and the importance of this heritage that we are responsible for.
It was a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.